Okay, first introduce yourself to the people who don't already know you.
Okay, I'm Dan Mielke. I am running for U.S. Congress in the 7th District. I'm running against Dave Obey in the general election and Sean Duffy in the primary election. I'm 56 years old. I'm getting older every day. 56 years old and run on a Republican ticket. I'm endorsed by the Constitution Party of Wisconsin. Their executive committee endorsed me. I'm also endorsed by the Independence Caucus, the National Independence Caucus. Strong conservative, social conservative, and moral conservative, and fiscal conservative, but moral and social takes preeminence over the fiscal. And we believe that if we correct the first two, the second one will come with it.
Why are you running for Congress?
I'm concerned. I'm concerned about our nation. We're losing our rights. We're losing our freedoms. I'm worried about my grandchildren not having a place where they can worship their God in spirit and in truth. My family came here in the early 1600s, my mother's side, because they wanted a place where they could worship in spirit and truth. And we're losing that. And if we lose that in this nation, there's no other nation to go to. And so I'm deeply concerned about that. I'm concerned about our loss of rights and freedoms that were given us under the Constitution. I'm concerned about the fact that our elected leaders are basically becoming traitors. They're selling us out to foreign nations. They're selling us out to a world form of government. And we're losing the very thing that God has given us, and that's a nation where we can have freedom.
Okay. Why should someone vote for you?
Well, I think the key is they need to vote for the country. They need to vote for America. They need to vote for freedom. And I believe that I'm the only candidate right now running on this ticket against, in the 7th District that's going to put his heart and soul into fighting for that. We have two other candidates, Sean Duffy and Dave Obey. But I don't see in them the passion. I don't see in them the desire to put it all on the line for the cause. And I think that's what they need today. I don't think we need just normal politicians in office. I think we need someone that's willing to actually do a tour of duty, to do the job, and get out once it's over. I'm a strong advocate for term limits. I believe this is a tour of duty. It's not a thing to do. It's just to build my career up and have a nice life. That's not what I'm in it for.
How do you feel about the upcoming healthcare vote? Because we now know that it's tomorrow. And
I'm a strong constitutionalist, and I believe in freedom. What the healthcare vote is doing is taking away our freedoms. Yes, I'm concerned about the fact of government money and the spending and the cost and what it's going to do to our economy. But even more than that, it's taking away the freedom of choice. We're losing our ability to choose the healthcare we want. We're losing the ability to choose the health methods we want. We're putting ourselves into an enslavement situation where the government's going to start to regulate when we go to the doctors, what we do, what type of treatment we get. I just spoke to a man here. He just had a pacemaker put in. And because he's on Medicare, they downsized his pacemaker because at his age, they no longer put the pacemaker that he needs. They wanted to put a lesser one in, and he almost died. He had to literally fight to get a pacemaker put in that was appropriate for his condition because Medicare won't allow it. This is what's happening now. Under the new system, it's going to be even worse. You won't be able to get the treatment you want. But it's the freedom we're losing. What if I don't want to go to a doctor? What if I want to go to a chiropractor or an alternative holistic doctor or something? People have different views on where health is. Do you really want to be forced into the government deciding what medical treatment you receive or what doctor you go to? I don't. And that's what concerns me. We're losing our rights and freedom. We're becoming indentured servants to the government. Cattle.
Okay. What is your stance on the Federal Reserve System and the current monetary system?
We're in trouble. Right now our money system is in deep trouble. We're printing money faster than the value that it's worth. Our foreign entities are taking up our dollars left and right, so there's very little of the dollars left in America. We're looking at basically a dollar collapse coming around in the near future. The world government system, the system where everybody's working together, we're seeing now in foreign countries don't even want our dollars. And that's scary because we've basically depleted it of its value. And we're in big trouble. We need to do an audit of the Federal Reserve. We need to do some checking, and we need to make sure that our best interests are at stake here, and we need to look for that. I'm concerned about that. I think it needs to be investigated. I firmly believe that we're being abused in our system, our monetary system. I believe that a lot of our wealth has already left this country. The fact that we've shipped out all of our industry and our business means most of our resources when we buy products now go to foreign countries. We're in trouble. And the global currency system will leave this country in a very desolate situation. We will not have the wealth that we have now. And we're already far less than what we had before. And so if we don't do something quick, we're going to be very close to being a third world nation.
You've been a farmer for a pretty long time. Do your years as a farmer influence your political views?
I think my experience in life, in all my aspects, as a farmer, as a business owner, as a minister, as a father, as you know, all those things have a bearing on how I look at things. I'm not a lawyer. I don't think like a lawyer. I think like a farmer. I realize that there's just common laws that you have to, understand. We've been taking the rear end of that horse into Washington far too long. And if you're a farmer, you know what you get out of the rear end of a horse. And it isn't much good. We need to take the front end in, what they call common horse sense. We need to take that to Washington. We need to teach that what you put in is what you get out. And we need to use just common sense on how we're running this country. You can't continually waste, what we have. You can't continually throw it away without suffering from that. And we're in trouble. Our government leaders are, like I say, they're selling us out. We're shipping everything over into the other farmers' field. We're putting all the nutrients in other countries, and then we're still expecting to grow the same crop. Doesn't work here. You have to rebuild the soil. We have to rebuild the country. You have to nurture the country. We have to, crops, you have to nurture the country. We have to work that. So yeah, the farming industry teaches me a lot on that. It also makes me realize too that, in the United States, agriculture is probably our greatest asset, and that's being taken away. Right now we're looking at the fact of corporations and global entities wanting to buy up our agricultural land to the point where we will no longer own the land that we've raised our crops on. The USDA is trying to do with the National Animal Identification System, the Premise ID. They're going to be taking away that too. Everything that we hold dear, our land, our property rights, are being stripped from us. Our federal government right now wants to take control of water. They want to own the wells and the waters that we drill, and they'll tell us where we can drill. All that has a bearing. So yeah, the agricultural industry has taught me a lot. Just as the ministry has taught me that we need to put God back into this nation, and without God, this nation will not stand. I learned that. I know the difference in having God on your side and having God against you. And right now, God is not on our side, and we need him back. That's important. And as a business owner, I realize too that you have to keep your assets and your liabilities in your own country. You can't shape them out. In the event of a national war right now, there's no way we could ever even rebuild our military. We'd have to hire China to build our tanks. We'd have to hire China to build, make our clothes and our uniforms and our guns, because we don't have it in this year anymore. So how are we going to do that if China becomes our enemy? What are we going to do? We've sold ourselves out, and we need to bring it back. You keep a certain amount of limited reserves in business so that you can continue to function. This country needs to do the same.
You're a part of the Tea Party movement. What other movements are you a part of?
I'm an American, and because I'm an American, I believe strongly in the Constitution. I associate and I'm part of the Tea Party movement. I'm part of the Constitution Party because I believe in the Constitution. I'm part of the religious movement because I believe in God, and I believe that that's an important part of this nation. I guess I'm an American and I'm a part of America, and it's not so much organizations, it's what the organizations stand for. You're going to find that I don't put my allegiance to a label. I'm a Republican, I run under the Republican ticket, but when the Republican Party fails to uphold the platform that I believe in and the Republican values that we hold to, I'm not going to go along with the Republican Party in that issue. Same thing whatever it be, whether it be a Tea Party movement, whether it be the Constitution Party, I will stand with them as long as they stand for the issues that build this nation and give us the freedom that we have. They take that away, they become my enemy.